So this is my story. Why do I like Thomas the Tank? I'm a father of 54 years old, and 21 years ago when my son was born, after about a year, we decided to get his first toy. And one of his first toys was Thomas the Tank. Now this was before he learnt to speak and before he learnt numbers and colours. And what happened very soon after getting Thomas the Tank, if you want to see more videos like this or any of those I've already uploaded, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. We had to collect a number of them, probably up to train 11, to teach my son both numbers and colours. And my son learnt all of his numbers and colours from Thomas the Tank. My son became obsessed with Thomas the Tank. It was probably driven by us as parents, as we bought numerous VHS video cassettes. Now some of you might not know what they are because they are very old technology. But my son had 42 video cassettes of Thomas the Tank. Now every day when I used to come home from work, all I could hear was a theme tune in the background, and my son used to say to me, "Come and watch Thomas, come and watch Thomas." And the theme tune, and it's really infectious. Once you've listened to it, there's no going back. And that's carried on for over the last 20 years. And I became obsessed with Thomas as my son became obsessed with Thomas. And we used to watch all of the episodes together. Now, we only ever had up to probably series 11. And the reason for that is I only liked it when the trains were realistic train models. I believe from series 12 it went on to graphics from computers. And I didn't actually enjoy that. However, what I would also say, although the second narrator was very good, Michelangelis was his name, I believe, I preferred Ringo Starr narrated the first two series of Thomas the Tank, and he was absolutely amazing. The second narrator was good, but my favourite was definitely Ringo Starr. Our collection started with My First Thomas. We then moved on to Trackmaster and Tomy trains, and the batteries would always run out just at that moment as you were really having fun. Some batteries were very expensive years ago, and there wasn't as many rechargeable batteries available or even chargers to charge the batteries. So we moved away from My First Thomas because they were a little bit big and bulky and hard to store, especially as the collection was getting larger and larger. Then we moved away from Tomy Trackmaster and we moved on to Brio. Now my son had at least 32 Brio engines, and what I did when my son was young, we bought two of everything and we stored one to keep it as memorabilia. And the reason why we did that was we were made aware at the time that Brio were losing the license to a company called ELC, Early Learning Centre, to produce Thomas the Tank Engine trains. And to be honest, when we saw the new trains and we compared them to the Brio trains, we were so disappointed that the quality of production had gone down. The quality of wood, the quality of finish, but especially the quality of the wheels. Brio originals have got beautiful metal wheel hubs, and the new ones had plastic hubs that had a little bit sticking out, and it was really awkward. However, in my opinion, the only good thing about the new range was they made so many more trains. They made lots of trains that Brio never did, and that really enhanced the collectability for us. So we wanted to have a pristine version of the trains, and then we were quite happy to have a playware version. And my son played with them for many years, as I bought so many accessories. And my favourite at the time was the big roundhouse that I believe stored 5 engines. Sadly, as my son got older, I decided to sell all of his Thomas the Tank Engine stuff, except for the 31 pristine Brio Brio engines that I still have. Sadly, over the years of storage, they've started to fray, bubble and crack, but I still have all 31. However, as my son has got older and older, and perhaps closer to the age of becoming a parent, I've deeply regretted selling his Thomas the Tank Engine stuff, and that's the reason why I started to collect my first Thomas, probably starting about a year ago, and why I'm trying to complete the entire collection this time round. I'm thinking of when he has a child, he may well want to have Thomas the Tank to give to his son, and then we can both relive my son's childhood with his son playing with Thomas the Tank. And as I'd kept the first 11 series on DVD and the 31 Brio Thomas the Tank trains, so that's why I've started collecting my first Thomas, and I've got most of the items. There are still a couple of trains I'm missing, and there are still some disappointments with the entire range in the fact that they didn't make all of the characters. So I'm now trying to consider ways of how to customize the trains that were made to make them into an original character. I just dabbled with my first two trains, which was Dodge and Splatter. I converted 2 Devious Diesels. Sadly, I was in such a rush that I didn't allow the paint adequate time to dry. So although Splatter and Dodge look good, they're nowhere near perfect. But it's a start of me customizing, using paints and perhaps stickers to customize the current available trains to make them into trains that I wish that my Golden Bear first Thomas actually made. So in summing up, I'm obsessed by Thomas the Tank purely based upon the amount of enjoyment that I had with my son when he was so young, some 20 odd years ago. I hope you didn't find this video boring, as I really wanted to share with you my thoughts of why I'm obsessed by my first Thomas. And I do apologise if you did. I hope you enjoyed my story, and I'd be interested to hear yours. So please leave the comments in the comment section below. Well, thanks for watching. Please leave a like, please subscribe, and I hope to see you all again soon.